Welcome back to 757 Field Goals. I'm your host, Antoine Corbin, with my co-host,
Jamar Hawkins. And we got a special guest joining us today. We got my man Reese with Virginia Preps. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing, Reese?
I'm tired.
You tired?
I'm tired.
You did a lot yesterday, didn't you?
I did a lot this whole weekend, really.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, so how many games did you cover over the? You started Thursday, right?
Yeah, I started Thursday, Maury Booker T.
Okay.
Friday, Portsmouth Christian and Quantico.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting thing there.
Okay.
And then I hopped over to Kempsville.
Okay.
And then ODU yesterday.
And I think what each of us probably want to talk about first is that Kempsville game. Ended a 63-game losing streak, which is amazing. Did, yeah. I think it started in 2013?
2013 against Tallwoods.
2013.
27th.
Yeah, that was their last win.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. So just talk about that. How was it covering that game?
Well, so really the backstory to it is I'm sitting in Portsmouth Christian talking to Bubba Thomas, their star running back, and someone puts their phone in my face. Like, I'm sitting here like this, and he puts the phone like right here.
Yeah.
So I look down, and it's a Kempsville account. It says hashtag Chiefs 20 Marlins 0 hashtag Kempsville Rising.
Mm-hmm.
So I had told Bubba before we started the interview, hey, I have a hat on. If I take my hat off, I need you to pause because we're breaking out for Twitter and YouTube because the rest of it's going on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my hat off, and he paused, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna have to end it right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I gotta get out to Kempsville. They're winning. They're up. I did not think that the game would end. I didn't think I'd be able to get to Kempsville in time.
Right. So how far is the drive is that?
From Portsmouth Christian, it was about 23 minutes. I made it 15.
Man, you were speeding.
Ticket alert.
Right. So when you got there, what quarter? Like how much time?
Well, actually, when I got there was an injury.
Okay.
Bayside, one of their players, Bryce Bellato, had gone down, and they had the ambulance out because he had hurt his leg. And so when the ambulance leaves the field, they have to have another ambulance come. So they were in delay for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me enough time to get from Portsmouth Christian down to Bayside where the game was.
Right.
And I get there, and they're at the very end of the delay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there, and I look behind me because I'm on the Kempsville sideline, of course, because this is where I probably should be for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I look behind me, and there's maybe 100 Kempsville fans. So as people start tweeting about it, I put out a Twitter tweet, hey, I'm here at Kempsville, at Kempsville at Chiefs, all of a sudden you start seeing more people walking up.
Mm-hmm.
More people walking up. So by the time the fourth quarter starts, the Kempsville stands are completely full.
Right.
And you can't hear anything.
And where was the game being played?
Bayside.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, the game was at Bayside.
It was wild. But you have all these kids on Kempsville, seniors who have gone the 4 years without winning a game, and just to have the fans start funneling in. They start funneling in, and there's more fans than there are stands. I mean, there are kids standing on the outside gate, outside the track, and there's more and more people showing up on the sidelines. So I'm there, and news crews start coming. So you get the sense something's happening. Final score 32-28. Bayside's trying to drive as the game ends. They just don't have time because they don't have any timeouts left.
Right.
So that happens, and the players start spilling onto the field. The principal got a Gatorade bath. I've never seen that at a high school game before. Principal getting a Gatorade bath.
Yeah.
You just have players hugging each other, crying. Coach emotional. Coach Gerald Cherry really emotional, and you have the fans all just lining up at the gate there. And then you have, the new rule on the beach where you have to be out of the stadium as soon as the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
So you have just all these kids staying around. So eventually they're going back to Kempsville. I didn't know they were going back to Kempsville.
Mm-hmm.
When they get back to Kempsville, they pull the goalpost out of the ground. They literally pulled the goalpost out of the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I'm thankful that I was able to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Portsmouth Christian decided to start their game at 6:00. They decided that like Thursday night.
So it just seemed like, not to cut you off, but it just seemed like all the stars aligned.
Yes.
I mean, for you,
very much
for
so.
the school, for
Very much so.
it just seemed like everything aligned for you to be able to witness that.
Very much so, and I think it's there's a subplot to the Kempsville story. Jalen White, the defensive lineman.
Right.
I really do think it all fit in perfectly so that the story behind the whole thing can be told. Because, Jalen White's his house burned down, 2 weeks before living with assistant coach, and I approached him on the sidelines after he got a fumble recovery in the late third quarter. No, it was late third quarter.
Okay.
And the assistant coach already told me that. And I'm like, hey, Jalen, I'm going to need to talk to you after the game's over. I heard your story. Yeah. He's like, thank you, man. Thank you. And there's a picture I have on Twitter with him with their turnover chain on. And I think that sums up perfectly. Because I've never seen two football players, him and, I can't recall the name of the other player, standing on their makeshift, their bench with the chain up and just smiling ear to ear. That's before fourth quarter even starts. I get there and it's 20 to 7.
So I'll go to you, with this next question. Did you, because I know me and you had picked a couple of games that we thought, could be probable wins for them. But did you have any idea or any inkling that Bayside could be the game?
No. After the schedule, kind of came out, and we started doing our thing and pick'ems, and we said, hey, I think maybe this might be the Kempsville game. And then I tweeted it. I was like, well, that decision for podcast because we both had said First Colonial was the next game that we said it's a possible victory based on what we've seen this season. Again, Coach Cherry, coming in, new staff, group of players that we all said they have, they have what it takes to get a win. So it's not like, it's the Bad News Bears story, like your makeshift team. No, they have the kids over there, and it's the Beach District. So those kids are spread out, and you can win a game. Right. So again, like I said, after the fact, no way did I think it's Bayside. I got much respect for Coach White, and I've lost to Coach White, so I know he gets his kids prepared, and they play that brand of ball over there, and they know they got some good offensive linemen, some good defensive linemen, and some skilled players.
Right. It's a team that just beat Princess Anne. Right. A couple weeks ago.
Yep. So again, like I said, no way did I think that was going to happen. And I didn't even see the score, the early score. Right. I saw the aftermath. I didn't see they jumped out ahead of them that big. So there's no way.
Gotcha. And Reese is one of the first people there. Do you think did you write a story about the game yet?
I did actually. Went up last night, very late last night.
Do you think just rereading the story and do you think what you witnessed did you had a chance to translate or transfer to what you wrote, the story that you wrote?
I wrote the story. Let's see. I got back from Kempsville to my house about midnight. Ate some Taco Bell, of course.
Of course, you still got a young stomach.
No, that's my pre-game meal for every game I've ever covered was Taco Bell. And my best friend called me because my best friend works down in Miami covering prep sports down there. Okay, and he'd been following along, and I talked to him about this streak a lot this year. And he's like, "So what are you gonna do now?" So I'm gonna eat my Taco Bell. I'm gonna write the story. I probably wrote the story 2 a.m. in the morning. Which is unusual for me. But this, I think something like that. And there's another plot to it. Javon Mims is their third string.
Yeah, he had a heck of a game. We had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, yeah. Rushing, 2 passing. So you have to really think about all those things. And then for me, the emphasis was I want to get this Jalen White video up. Because this could really help this kid out. And it has.
And you see the response on Twitter.
The response has been amazing. I mean, even the responses I've seen on Facebook, I posted the video like 5 a.m. Saturday morning on my Facebook, and I didn't expect anyone to care. Right. Because I don't need my Facebook for that kind of stuff. It's more personal, more family friends type stuff. It got a few shares, and then to have the celebration videos go viral like they did. Right. Early Saturday morning.
Right. We saw Max Preps shared their video.
Yeah.
I don't seem too happy about that.
Well, yeah, they shared it.
I mean, they gave you credit, Reese.
It got 12,000 views. Yeah. I mean, it got 5,000 on my page. You're
so you got a couple followers out the deal.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sitting there, writing the article, and it takes me about an hour to write the article.
Yeah.
Which I'm just trying to make sure, I have it, everything covered. And the editing was really good on also. So I'm sitting here like, you know what? I'm gonna write the article now. I'm gonna reread it in the morning, make sure I have everything covered. Now, I did a few things to it, I think the hard thing with that though is really capture all the emotion, because there's only so much you can capture, written. I mean, that's where the advantage of posting the videos comes in also. And I think we did a good job of it. The article is very good, in my opinion. The editing was great. I mean, it was great. The formatting's good.
You edit your own articles?
No, Matt does.
Okay.
Matt,
so you guys with something like with a story like that, which is going to be a big story and people want a chance to read. You guys kind of talk about how editing is going to go.
Yeah, we do.
Because you gotta with a story like that, you gotta put the pieces together. Yeah. You really got to be in tune with each other. Yeah,
we do, and I of course have a ton of faith in everyone involved in the process. So I said, hey, here's the article. It's in. Let's get it out, and it's out now, and it's probably, I would say, in the 5 years I've been covering sports, because I think I have the 4 years in NASCAR also. Probably the best article I've ever written.
I think and I haven't had a chance to read it, but I believe so, because I saw what you did with the video and how much you made sure they got shared and reposted all over Twitter. I think the best article I wrote was a couple of years ago. Lexus Morris, I don't know her dad passed away when she was younger, and she played ball like just in his memory. So that was a real big story for me, and I know it took me a while to just kind of, when what kind of story is going to end up being, I think you take more time to kind of, like you said, capture the emotion of the game and what's going on behind the scenes. You want to capture all that so the audience has a chance to really understand.
The last story I wrote that was this emotional was probably 2016. There's a big race every year in Martinsville Speedway.
Okay.
For all the local home track guys in NASCAR. And a guy named by the name of Mike Looney from Motor Mile, Virginia.
Okay.
Team has no money. They don't have all the fancy equipment. They got in there to win the biggest race of the year. But the owner had told me about a month earlier at our race, he said, we're going to win Martinsville this year. Watch it. So they're coming around turn 4, and he has a 4-time national champion inside of him. And the car goes up, and the front bumper is in the window net.
Wow.
Saves it and wins the race. I mean, that's a $45,000 payday.
That's crazy, man. To having no money, he was funding. They were funding their own team.
They were funding it out of their pockets.
That's crazy.
And and it's the way it should have been done. They don't have the huge hauler. They have a lawnmower trailer that they put the back wheels or the front wheels on, and they haul it to the races. And they're still doing great to this day.
That's crazy. That's dope.
That was the last story I covered. That was this emotional, and that he gets out of the car and he's praying beside it, and I had the picture of him praying beside it.
Right.
And, I had talked to him the morning of the race.
Right.
He somehow got on the front row for the race. And we were just like, I was like, what are you going to do if you win this race? He's like, we're not going to win this race. We're not going to win this race. We don't have the money. We don't have the money.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, they won the race.
They won the race.
And,
gotcha.
But yeah, that was the last thing I covered that was this heavy emotionally.
Right. Well, before we transition, I do want to include some of the numbers from the game. Like you said, Javon Mims, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing. Like you said, the streak started in 2013. We started with the Tallwood win, but they lost in the playoffs to Salem. Haven't won 2 games in a row since 2010.
Yeah.
So they have a chance to do that this week. I think it's like I said, I think it was a great story. I think he did a great job, and as telling Twan, that's why I wanted to bring you on today to be able to give, because I know we wanted the Kempsville coaches, but they were unavailable. But I know that you could give, as a writer, you can give the emotion and tell the story behind the story that I wasn't there, so I can't tell it. Twan's not a writer,
And it starts at Portsmouth Christian really, because if the Portsmouth Christian doesn't start an hour earlier, and if they don't have a running clock in the second quarter, none of this happens. Because the delay in Kempsville, doesn't happen, I'm not there.
Right.
You know, I'm not at the game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm sitting there at Portsmouth Christian and it's 7 o'clock and the game's about to end, 7:15, the game's about to end, and I'm sitting, all right, what am I going to do the rest of my night? I'm going to go home, start my, you know, I do player of the week and I do the rewind article. I'm going to start those, have those done. For someone, and for someone to have the presence of mind to realize, you know, get me the score. I probably wouldn't have seen it. I would have seen it after the fact.
Right. But everybody knew, like, that could be a big story. And they trusted you to be, you know, to be there. And, you know, so, you know, kudos to you, too, for, you know.
I think it's probably the biggest moment of my career. Yeah. The last 2 days.
When did you start writing?
2014. And actually, I started in high school. Okay. Working for the school newspaper down in Florida, and was told that I wasn't going anywhere in journalism. My teacher told me, you know, it's fine that you're with the paper, but I would look at another career.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So how did you end up here? Not to get too off track.
Oh, in Virginia? Yeah. I was born here. We moved down to Florida.
Okay. Gotcha.
To help my sister out. Gotcha. And then we came back here after high school was over. Okay. And went to culinary school. You know, gotcha. Did that for a while, and someone randomly on Facebook one day in a group I was in was like, "Hey, I need someone talking about NASCAR this season." I'm like, you know what? Shoot, why not? I mean, you know, it'll be fun to do. Right. And then someone approached me about a racing series in Richmond, indoor racing, half scale cars on like a 1/10 of a mile aluminum track inside the Coliseum. Okay. And I was like, all right, I'll do that. And, you know, from there, someone else hit me up about, you know, doing this. And then 2017, I got to do a bunch of races across the country. And I saw some people in racing die, you know, that meant a little bit to me. And I'm like, you know what, this is, you know, I'm a scale back in 2018. Okay. Just did some go-kart stuff, some photography stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm done. Yeah. And I messaged Matt last year about doing a late Taylor game, photography, and just rolled into what it is now. And nice. I really laid in bed Saturday morning thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I'm really here on pure luck right now. Yeah. Like, because it's just one thing snowballs into another.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yeah. We definitely appreciate you talking about Kempsville. No problem. And speaking of Bubba Thomas, that was one of my players of the week from last week. 205 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Broke the school record, which was what?
It was 7. I think it was 1684. Okay. He's at 1754 ish. Okay. I might be off by 1 or 2.
Okay, because I have 1759 where he's at right now. Okay. But I didn't know that was a school record, but that's why I had his
the school record was broken in the second quarter.
Okay, gotcha. So, yeah, Bubba Thomas broke the school record. I had Lamarion James for Indian River. He had a big first half against Western Branch, 5 receptions, 201 yards. Yeah. First half. So I don't know what he finished with, but first half, he killed in the first half. So those 3 and Javon with Kempsville, those are my players of the week.
And there's one more at Portsmouth Christian. I don't want to harp on them. But there's Tyjon Yorkshire.
Tallwood, right?
I think that's where he came from
Tallwood. Yeah.
50-yard punt return touchdown. And 1 reception. It was 63 for a touchdown. Yeah. You know, that's a really good game by him. And, you know, both those guys are guys who are going to be recruited more. Right. I mean, you know, I have the interview up with Bubba Thomas right now on Twitter where he talks about, you know, the interest he's been getting, Virginia Union, Akron. Right.
Do you think he's getting as much attention as he should? Because, you know, we talked about, on social media, a lot of people talk about the lack of competition in private school, especially around here because we don't have the Mathis. We don't have, you know, St. Frank. We don't have those kind of private schools here. We have Catholic pretty much, and that's it.
No. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to see, you know, what he... Because in Florida, to use him for example, all the schools play each other. Yeah. There's no private school, public school. Okay. I think it'd be interesting to see that. But I think he's doing just fine where he is.
Do you think he'll have comparable success on the public school level?
I think he'd be pretty good. He's a pretty good back, pretty good vision, speed. You know, he's a Darren Sproles type player.
Would you have him? Because this is our topic of the day. Would you have him in the Player of the Year conversation?
Currently, or if he is in public?
Yeah, right now. Right now,
the way I'm doing it for Player of the Year is I'm doing one Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing quarterbacks of the year, running backs of the year, wide receivers of the year.
Oh, position.
Yeah, and that's what we do weekly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do that weekly. It comes out.
So and then you have one at the end of the year. Okay.
He's a game changer for him.
Yeah,
and they're 6-3.
Yeah,
they clinched a state or a playoff berth.
Yeah.
You know? If I decide to do public and private school differently, he's Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'd be the private school Player of the Year.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Right. Who else would be in consideration?
I think Tejan Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Saffold from Norfolk Academy. He's going to Yale.
Gotcha. Yeah. This running back, right?
Running back. Yeah.
What about Colt Minson?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they haven't had the year they wanted to have, of course. But,
right.
I would say Colt gets some attention.
Gotcha.
Being a quarterback.
Yeah,
quarterback. Touching the ball
and,
every play.
And when we get to that, that's something that I'll speak without. That's our topic a little later on. But
right.
Yeah, when we get there, that's something I'll touch on too. And I know Twine, like you said, you want to touch on matchup from last week since we missed the week.
So as we transition, shout out to Coach Cherry and that staff over there for breaking their streak. But I think 2 weeks ago, we were off for a week on the podcast.
Right.
Denby also had a streak going that they broke over on the Peninsula side. I think it was 32 straight games, and they got a win. I think it was over Bethel on the week that we had off. So there's a lot of excitement going on where some of those players that never won a game, now they taste victory now, so they can go on and get that monkey off their back, as we the cliche, get the monkey off your back, you just move on to the next thing, so just make sure that we understand there was another streak out there that was going on, not as long as Kempsville, but it's definitely a little lengthy when you talk about 30 plus games.
That's a lot. Three
seasons right there. So
that's a lot.
So that's a long way to go.
Well, when you're talking about these streaks, and Coach Cherry brought up to me in post game, he's like, this isn't a win for the high school. This is a win for a community. This turns the community around.
Right.
This impacts the community. And the Denby thing is the same thing. It's going to change the way that community thinks about their team. And it changes the way everything operates in Kempsville. Now they have that win, the monkey's off the back, so to speak. And it's a win for the community. And it's a testament to both sides, Denby and Kempsville, to the wherewithal of the players and then the want to do this,
Right.
And for the seniors on both sides, really. Because you think about Denby, that's 32 games. That is almost an entire career.
Yeah.
You have these kids who come in as freshmen, might win a game or two that year, and then have not won.
Right.
It says a lot about players.
Right.
To stick around that long.
Right. Absolutely. So let's stick with the PD for a second. You had a big matchup on the Peninsula this weekend, Phoebus and Woodside. Phoebus, I guess you could say, I'm going to say dominated, but they won the matchup pretty handily, 21-6. So do we feel like they're the class of the Peninsula? Like they're just,
of course.
That's it?
Wrapped up? I think that was the head-on collision that we we're waiting on to decide. And again, I think if you look at the outcome of the game, I think you still say that Woodside is for real. Yeah, 21-6. It wasn't a blowout. Right. It wasn't a dominant. It could have been a dominant.
That's why I say I don't really want to use that word.
But that Woodside has still got something to give, and you're talking about they're going to be in the D5 mix, right there, probably to the end. Again, a non-traditional offense kind of gives those traditional guys a little headache.
Right.
So I think that was the matchup that we wanted to see. And again, when you talk about, we've talked about a game of the week, and then all of a sudden it's 60-0, 60-7. Like now you go 21-6. You go, And, now that's getting more to what we think is the, game of the week type situation.
Which like Oscar Smith, Deep Creek was supposed to be the game of the week, and that was 42-16. Oscar Smith won that. So I think, Reese, you've seen a lot of football this year. I think we've seen Maury, Salem, Oscar Smith. They kind of separated from the pack at this point, and it's probably the three best teams in the area right now.
When you say the area, do you mean the South Side?
Yep, I mean the whole area. I mean the
Bay Rivers.
Yeah,
York.
York can't mess with those schools. I saw Lafayette. I saw Lafayette last year against Lake Teller at home. Yeah, they got killed at home. And so that's why I haven't put Lafayette or those schools in my top 5 yet, because I'm just not. The same thing with basketball. Until you beat someone, outside of your district, I can't, because the district is not strong enough to just say like, just because you're undefeated in your district, it's not strong enough to say that you're one of the best teams in the area.
I'm interested to see what these teams do come playoff time.
Lafayette's in 3 this year.
I believe 3.
Yeah, so they can do that. They'd be like, okay, if you Lafayette and Phoebus, I think they could beat Phoebus because I think they beat Phoebus in the past. So I think Lafayette could beat Phoebus, but again, that would be an upset. That would be an upset to me.
Yeah, and we also got to think of the what I like to say is your week to week game, right? So if your district's not strong and you're running through the district, do you have enough prep? Do you have enough?
Right, there you go.
Has a competition beat you down? It's a physical game, where you can gauge your team and say we played a physical game against a very good physical team, that shows what we're capable of doing down the stretch.
It's the same thing in basketball. We had teams like, and I go back to 4 because it always happens where Bay Rivers, like Grafton, you have a team like Grafton, Jamestown that would get the 1 seed because Lake Taylor and the other teams in 4, they've got beaten up during Eastern District play. But when the playoffs come, that 1 versus 8, Lake Taylor beat Grafton last year. And it really was. I don't think it was close. So. You got to get tested for me to say you're one of the top 5 teams. I don't feel like Lafayette is one of the top teams.
That's why I'm interested this week to hear that top 5.
Oh, it's not close. I'm telling you, it's not as hard as you might think it is.
Because if that team that I'm thinking about ain't in your top 5, then there's something wrong.
Well, you want to get to it?
Let's get to it. Let's get to
it. You want to get it? You want to hear it, Reese? All right, so last week, 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, because we was off last week. Top 5 was Woodside at 5, Phoebus at 4, Oscar Smith at 3, Salem was at 2, Maury was at 1. Woodside, of course, dropped out with the loss. The team that took their place is Lake Taylor. Lake Taylor's number 5. The reason why, because I feel like Lake Taylor is a team that's going to be a cream. They're the cream of the crop, like to me. They beat Granby 64-20, which I can't even say that's a big win, but they also beat Norcom. They beat Churchland, who just beat Norcom. So I feel like when I was making my top 5, I had Lake Taylor, I had Indian River, I had Nansemond River in consideration. Before Deep Creek took a big, they was going to be in consideration too. And I just feel like Lake Taylor, they're just the 5th best team right now. That's just how I feel. 4 was still Phoebus, 3 was Smith, 2 was Salem, and 1 was Moore.
I was at the Lake Taylor Northern game. And keep in mind, that's the week after Varina. They lost Varina, but I think the comeback at Norcom is the turning point for Lake Taylor. Because, they're down like the 34-7.
Yeah.
And they come back.
Right.
And, it's 57-56 final score overtime, I think that's Malik Newton's breakout game this year. I think that's the turning point for Lake Taylor.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing I've seen is like, I think like there's teams that are comparable. Like it could be a few teams that you could put at that 5th spot, but I just think like right now, these are the 5 best teams. I don't think it will change because I don't think Phoebus will lose. I don't think Lake Taylor will lose again. I don't think Smith will lose. I don't think Salem may lose, but I don't really see it. And I don't think Maury will lose unless it's the Norcom this week.
Yeah, this week.
I think that's the only chance they have of losing. So I don't think that 5 will change. If people want to argue, they probably would say Lake Taylor at 5 because like they had a bad loss to Varina, a bad loss to Maury. Varina's a great team. Maury's a great team. So other than that, they've had some great wins since then. And I also looked at the fact that Churchland beat Norcom yesterday, which I'm like, okay, now we got to go back. And Lake Taylor beat Churchland, I want to say by 20. So that's another good win that you have to put in that cap. So
again, like I said, you said it wasn't a hard decision. To me, I can't. And we had this discussion before when Phoebus and Lake Taylor were on this thing. Lake Taylor beat Phoebus, right? Lake Taylor beat Churchland. Churchland beat Norcom, right? Lake Taylor got 2 losses. Regardless of who they played, Lake Taylor has 2 losses on the schedule. So to me, I would have to have either Churchland on there at number 5 or Woodside got to stay at 5.
Well, I can't keep what they just lost.
I know they just
lost.
So
you could say Churchland, but Lake Taylor beat Churchland.
And Lake Taylor beat Phoebus.
That's true. So, I mean, now you can switch them two now maybe, but Phoebus just be Woodside too, which was an undefeated team. So you can't, that'd be kind of, if you switch them, that'd be, it's like we're taking away the big win that you just had. So, I mean, like I said, Churchland could be a team too, but they're not better than Moore, they're not better than Lake Taylor. So they won't be, I can't put them above either one of those two teams.
Until Churchland plays, because Churchland hasn't played Lake Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
Churchland
They
hasn't
have
played
played.
more. Churchland hasn't played.
They played more. They lost them more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they lost them more.
You're right.
Churchland has some good wins. They have some good wins, but like I said, I can't. Now, if it's top 10, Churchland be somewhere up in there. Top 5, you would have to go behind Maury and Lake Teller. That's just my thing. Like I said, I consider Indian River too. But we talked about Indian River at the beginning of the year, man. I'm not a believer in them. Just keeping it real. I'm not a believer in Indian River.
Right.
Maybe some other people are, but I couldn't see them as one of the top 5 teams because they was up Western Branch. It was up by what 20?
Who that?
It was not that game.
Indian River. They was up like 20.
Oh yeah, you talking about the close game.
And it ended up being what 36-32. Ended up being like 36-32,
yeah,
something like that.
Close game.
You got playoff time. What you gonna do? You got to play. What you gonna be about? The 6 seed, 7 seed, and you got to face Salem first round.
There's a team no one's talking about, and not a top 5 team. Cox.
He does.
Okay.
He does. He definitely does. He definitely does. But Cox has who they got this week? Lansdowne.
No, they have Green Run this week.
They got Green Run this week, and then they end against Salem.
And Green Run's won what? Green Run's won a couple games in a row.
Green Run's 4-4.
4-4.
Yeah.
They lost Princeton, but they had a 2-game winning streak before.
Yeah, and they got the same record on it. What's Cox? 4-3.
Nah, 5-3.
5-3. That's a pretty good one. So yeah, that's the top 5. But I don't when you like we said a couple weeks ago. I think after this Phoebus Woodside game, I really don't see any of these teams losing. I don't see any of these teams losing the rest of the season. I think they'll just go straight to the playoffs. This will be the 5. So
no. That's the only. Like I said, you got a 1 loss. You get a 1 loss Woodside, like you said, drop out. Right. You got 2 loss. You got a 2 loss Lake Teller team. You got a 2 loss Churchland team.
Right.
It's looking like Deep Creek is in the meat of their schedule. So
and they ain't looking too good for them right now.
Right. So they're in the meat of their schedule.
Yeah. So where are we at with Deep Creek? Are we believing in Deep Creek?
They're going to be in D5 playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the situation. It doesn't matter what happens in Southeastern District. Oscar Smith is going to sew that up.
Yeah.
But I believe the continued schedule that we have is going to flip the D5. The D5 seedings is going to be crazy.
And I'm glad you did bring up Churchland because that was actually part of my point too. No.
Right.
The Eastern District is the best district around here.
I disagree.
I think it is.
And I think every
Churchland is a state title contender now.
Hold on.
I mean, region. I ain't gonna say state. I'll say region.
Okay.
4A. They can get it done in 4.
But again, listen to what you just said. You got Maury at D5, right? They have no contender in D6, right? At all, right?
We'll have the population.
Right. I'm just saying they have no contender in D6, right?
That's fine.
Where you going at D4? Where you at in D4?
Lake Teller, Churchland.
You got Churchland and Lake Teller. Where you at in D3?
I mean, yeah. Booker T, maybe. I said maybe.
Okay. So then you look.
Hold up, Norcom. We got Norcom.
Okay, you got Norcom, right? Norcom, okay, so then you start in the beach. You got D6.
Who?
You got a contender. You always gonna have a contender. Ocean Lakes and Lansdowne.
No way. No sir.
What do you mean?
Sir. Ocean Lakes got dominated by more.
Right, but it's D6. We flipping the whole playoffs again.
Okay,
right?
all right.
Right. So D6, right? So now you talk about D5.
Okay. Salem.
Right?
You got Salem.
Right? That's your top contender, right? They're 5A. They actually are the number 1 team in 5A, right?
That's true.
By power points, they are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
By power points, that is true.
Whoever is in 5 is going to have to deal with you.
Right, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
Island Springs.
Right, but I'm saying 5A in the area,
that's
right?
True.
5A, right? So then you start running down the list. You start going, well, Princess Anne got 6 wins, by the way. You know, a winning season, right? Then you got Cox, that's in 5,
that's
right?
True.
Then you got Green Run sitting there. True. So now you're looking at a whole, because there is no 4, 3, or 2, right?
Yeah.
So when you say who's the best district, when you got Ocean Lakes, Lansdowne, and then I just rattled off 4 teams, that's 6 teams out of an 11-team beach.
But they're also playing each other,
right? And so it's
Eastern District. Eastern District match up against Beach District, they'll beat them. Team for team, they'll beat them. At the top, they would beat them. At the top, they would beat them. They'll beat them top for top.
Team for team.
The only matchup I think that's like comparables close would be Maury and Salem. Like Ocean Lakes is not that good this year.
I got to see it on the field.
I mean, but you've seen it
because I'm from Norfolk and since the classification happened, where's the proof at?
Right.
Since the reclass happened,
right?
Where's the proof?
We'll put it like this: you put a team like Princess Anne, ain't nothing but Norcom. You put a team like Churchland. Who was that in the Beach District?
In the Beach District,
that'd be Green Run. They'll beat Green Run. Probably would beat Cox because Cox struggles with speed, right?
Yeah,
that's something we talked about.
That's definitely true.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if you match up now, if you're going by overall record, it may be
I'm just going by what happens when they play the game.
Yeah.
Right?
For one, no team in the beach
Right.
except for Salem is going to have a chance against Moore.
Oh, I agree.
And then when you get to Lake Teller, other than Salem,
But don't we have this? Haven't we had the same thing play out time and time again?
Yep.
Right. When it's time to play the game, those teams don't come out on that end of the stick, especially in D5. Right? Because like I said, there's no D6.
But we just had a D5 champ last year.
That's correct. For the first time since Norview, right?
But when was the last beach D5 champ?
Salem won them back to back.
When they
when
was that?
2013 and 14.
Long time. We just say a long time ago.
Hold on. But it's 5 years. That's the only. That's it, right?
So who put Salem out last year? Who put Salem out last year?
Last year was Moore.
Who put Salem out the year before?
Nasman River.
You right. You got
okay.
You got But Norview was there the year before you, right?
That is.
Twan, you're a beach guy now too, man.
No, what I'm saying is, in the 5 years since we reclassed,
I got you.
Salem, the beach had back-to-back D5 champions. Right. So you've had Indian River because the whole Highland Springs little t-shirt, little t-shirt they got going on.
They put all us out.
We'll show you, right? But
true indeed.
I'll tell you.
True indeed.
Country coming in D5, lost a Green Run when Ant Scott was playing running back, right?
Okay.
That's kind of
right?
Same. They couldn't get it done.
Right.
Norview has lost to Salem.
Right.
They've lost,
right,
to other beach teams, right? So that's what I'm saying is when it comes time to play each other, because we don't schedule those games, even though the beach allows you to.
Yeah.
It doesn't pan
beach
out.
Be running from the
right?
real smoke.
It doesn't pan out.
The beach be running, man. Because this year's like, I put it like this. This year's Lake Tellers won the state 2012, 2015. They would have ran through the beach.
What, in 2012?
In 2015, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, until you can play it on the field, these teams have played.
But look, let's look at who Lake Teller beat in 2012. They beat Stonebridge, who had John Allen, and the quarterback that ended up at Stanford. They beat North Stafford. They beat, I think, L.C. Bird.
Right.
They beat a lot of teams that, like L.C. Bird, won 39 games straight, right? So they ended that winning streak at L.C. Bird. 3-year winning streak at L.C. Bird. So this is what I'm saying is that, yeah, you're right. You are right. We don't get a chance to match up.
The year they beat Bird was the year they beat. You talking about the year they beat Bird?
At Bird. That was what? That was the year Bird won the state championship.
2014.
Earl Hughes senior year. That was Earl's senior year at Bird.
At Bird, they was undefeated. We played Bird in 2013 at Bird.
Okay. It might have been 2014.
It was 2014 because that's what made them have to travel
to
Sportsplex to play.
There you go.
So
it might have been 2014.
It was 2014.
But I'm saying is this. And maybe we just saying the Beach and the Eastern District are the two best districts. Maybe that's what we're saying. Because I've also seen the Eastern District match up against the Southeastern District and won that matchup, with the exception of Oscar Smith, beat every other team in the Southeastern District. So I just think when we talk about Beach and the Eastern District, both are top heavy because you get down to like Booker T's and Green Run.
Right.
It's the same thing.
I just think when you have 11 schools.
Yeah.
When you have another district with 5 or 6 schools, it just doesn't pan out that way because you're looking at and they're playing each other. So they're beating up on each other. It's not like it's an open schedule. So they're beating up on each other to figure out who's the best.
Right.
But when it comes to the playoffs, you got to win on the field.
Yeah.
And one victory here and there, and I think when we get to our playoff podcast, if the PowerPoint standings come out to be true, then I have something more for you.
What's guaranteed wins in the Beach right now? What's guaranteed wins?
You mean as if you're playing an opponent?
If you're playing a Beach opponent, what's the guaranteed win? For a fact you'll beat them.
Well, right now you got to say First Colonial because they have no wins.
Right, you say First Colonial. Right,
probably
say Kempsville.
And then you say Kempsville because they just got the win.
I'm of the mindset where you're never guaranteed.
I mean, technically, but First Colonial,
you gotta play on the field.
Yeah, but there's 2.
We don't play this game on paper now.
Right, you play the game on the field, but what he's asking is,
I'm just saying, if you're looking at your schedule,
looking at your schedule. Yeah. But again, like I said, if you're looking at the D5A, which is our region, on PowerPoints, right?
Okay.
Because PowerPoints is what's getting you over the top, right?
Yeah,
and PowerPoints are all based on your schedule, who played who and who beat who.
Right,
That's how PowerPoints are factored.
Absolutely.
You'll see who the best is, right? Technically, that's the only way you're going to do it until you play.
Yeah.
Because those are all fair things. You know, you got to build your schedule. You got to play who's on your schedule.
Right.
And if they're being dominant and you dominate them or you beat them, your PowerPoints will reflect that.
Right.
So right now, the Beach got a better schedule. Salem's got a better schedule than Maury, basically. They've got better quality wins than Maury
I just think that's more of a school population type of thing.
No, it's 5A.
Again, I don't see
It's
those
5A.
schools that Salem is like. Maury went into the Beach at Ocean Lakes during their homecoming and beat them.
And so
31 unanswered points.
Right? 31 unanswered, right?
Unanswered at their school.
Unanswered. And Salem did what?
To who?
45 unanswered.
45 unanswered.
Next week.
Not
Because Maury loosened them up for Salem.
that's fine.
That's what it was.
That's fine.
Maury had to loosen them up
But
for
again,
Salem.
when you say 31 unanswered, it wasn't 31-0.
Right.
Right? Ocean Lakes led the game.
Spotted them a touchdown.
Right? Ocean Lakes led the game, right?
ODU was beating ECU.
I'm just saying. These are the facts.
I get you though, but
these are the facts. And I think
get you.
that's why I said that's why I say until they play. Because if we're gonna look at it, the 5A right now, the way it's set up, Salem has the lead. And it's all based on PowerPoints. It ain't based on win-loss record, none of that stuff. It ain't based on common opponents. It's based on PowerPoints. And that's what VHSL set up. So you have to live by that.
So that's so we can transition to our next, the player of the year topic.
Yeah.
Does that come into play when you talk about competition and team records, and what does that come into play when you talk about player of the year race?
For me, I think it's got to be a factor, but also I think because one of the reasons why, and some people know that I transitioned out of high school coaching is because I think some other factors need to be in play when the media decides who the player of the year is, or when that voting panel starts to talk about that, because yes, wins and losses do matter, but you got teenagers out here, young men out here who are balling, that deserve that recognition.
Right.
And just because they're on a 500 team doesn't mean they're not player of the year caliber.
Right.
I think we've had a player of the year multiple times not win a state championship. Right? They had great teams, great seasons, but they didn't win a state championship.
Right.
So I think that same recognition for this area has got to be that same way. You got to look at the overall product that player is producing on the field, regardless of the rest of the team. Right? So that factors in for me.
I'm with you too, but I think, like, I tell people all the time, man, they always ask me beginning of the year, like, I said, it's going to come from a winning team. Like, it's not really going to come from a kid that's on a 2-9 team, or and he may be talented as I don't know what, but just knowing how most of the media votes, and especially when you're talking about Tyler the player of the year, they're not going to give it to a guy that plays for Wilson, something like that. Rodney Hammond's not going to get Tyler.
And I think a part of that is wrong, right? Because if I'm on a 2-8 team and I played that tremendous schedule, right, and I balled against the top teams, right, like I'm unstoppable. Why not?
Right.
My team didn't win, but as a player of the year, I did. If I put the team on my back, why not?
Exactly.
Why am I slighted?
And I'm glad you said a kid like Rodney Hammond, who
it's the same thing as the Heisman race. Chase Young at Ohio State is dominating these offensive lines. 4 sacks yesterday. Right. He's not gonna get the Heisman because he's a defensive player. But if a guy like Rodney Hammond was to run for 1,700 yards in a year, but they win 5 games.
These are the 3 people. Just not saying that these are the people that I will vote for, but the 3 people that I think are in the running. And I'll just say Tyler the player of the year. I'll just keep it generic. I'd say Tyler the player of the year. I had Eric Gibson from Maury, the quarterback. Ethan Vasco from Oscar Smith, and Kaylon Black from Salem.
God, Ethan Vasco, he's just blown up this year.
And the reason why I had those 3 is because they all come from winning programs. All of those teams would be region contenders, state title contenders, and they're leading their teams. I think with Maury is going to be a case where CJ Beasley, Keandre take votes. They split votes. Kind of like with the Rockets, like James Harden and Westbrook. They're going to split votes from each other. So I think they pretty much cancel each other out. The quarterback, like we said earlier, somebody's throwing those touchdown passes, so I think he's going to get a lot of credit for that. Ethan Vasco, like you said, blown up. Virginia Tech offer, and Kaylon Black, who's, leading that dominant Salem team. So
you look at a guy like Eric Gibson and Maury. He's a junior.
Right.
He'll be back next year.
Right.
You know, I'm excited. I mean, I know we're still in the season. I'm excited to see how he improves in the offseason.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know the exact number. He's around 22 touchdowns right now.
That's crazy.
If not higher. I mean, you know,
but Twan is actually, he brought somebody up to me, and you know, I let him mention it.
So I kind of went down that same road with you, Gibson and Vasco, but I had them kind of tied, you know, kind of almost canceling each other out because now you're looking at two winning programs who, you know, when you throw the ball as much as they do, and then you have a back like at Moore with CJ Beasley, right? Yeah. You don't hear a lot about Oscar Smith running backs, you know, Man Copeland and stuff like that. Yeah,
he's very
right. You hear that stuff, right? But then you got somebody like Malik Newton, right? Yep. So you go, well, he already won Tidewater Player of the Year. We just said, you know, he put the team on his back, you know, breakout game and stuff like that, which is, you know, in week 7 he was tied for the lead, tied for the lead in rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
Right? So then you look at some other people that you just mentioned, Keandre Lambert, right? I had him and Deshaun Peele, right? Okay. Kind of neck and neck, right? Yeah. Again, spreading the ball around. Both of them play both sides of the ball. Yep. Again, something that needs to be considered when we talk about traditional Ironman football, right? You got people that play one side of the ball.
Tony Grimes that plays both sides.
Right, they get it done, right? So how about Prutney over at
Norcom? See, I was gonna let him mention that because he mentioned him before.
So how about Prutney at Norcom, right? Yep. And then we start
score 5 different ways.
Right. And so now we get into guys like Rodney Hammond, right? Yep. So then I go, hey, doesn't Rodney play on both sides of the ball? 3 or 4 interceptions this year, right? It's 3 or 4 interceptions this year. Kick return, punt return. So now we start to look at other things. Right. You know, you got Black, of course, from Salem, right? Mainly an offensive threat guy, whether he lined up a wide receiver, kick return, punt return, that type of stuff. But then I look at a guy like Antoine Flora. You said a winning program, right? I know Deep Creek running through the meat of their schedule, right? Yeah. But is this guy still producing? Is he still running touchdowns? Still running, right? And he play on both sides of the ball. Yep. So when we talk about all Tidewater player or player of the year, you got to give credit to guys that are going on both sides of that ball and still producing on both sides of the ball. Not just because I lined up at linebacker or cornerback and maybe somebody
making plays,
not throwing my way, right? Yeah. At Moore, you don't have a choice. Which pick your poison, right? So now you get a guy like Antoine Flora out there who's at the top in multiple categories on both sides of the ball, right? So why would we take away that part of the game when somebody had a breakout season, just say 1,700 yards rushing and 25 touchdowns rushing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And another guy had 1,000 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns. Oh, but he had 4 picks. You know, he had 2 punt returns, right? That's what I'm looking at as a player of the year. Right. So no, that's the kind of way I see it.
It's kind of get more like, so what is the definition of, is it like, because he's valuable to his team. So we talk about most valuable player. Right. If I take him off that team, what would that team be? Right. So if I take Eric Gibson off Maury, all right, is Maury still going to be good?
I think they're still gonna be undefeated.
Yeah. I think so too. I think so too.
I think we witnessed that they didn't have Eric, even though they had Lawton last year, right? They had Lawton last year, right? Still putting up those same type of things. Coach McCain is coaching the quarterback up to fit that system.
We saw Bam Mills throw for what? 4,000 yards. What?
Right.
How many yards he throw for?
So again, right? So not to take away from any one player, but you don't hear that name on the opposite side of the football, right? Because it's a quarterback. You don't want your quarterback hurt, right? Except unless you're at Lake Taylor, where that quarterback normally does play on the other side, right? You know, Shaheem was over there playing linebacker and quarterback, right? So you got Malik Newton. Yep. You say you see him line up at safety. Yep. I've heard multiple reports that he's lined up at safety when those games are like that, right? So you have to take that in consideration when you talk about a player of the year who's doing it on both sides of the ball, multifacets, because you got special teams, you got defense, you got offense. If those guys are contributing effectively to all of that, and you got another guy that's just doing one, I can't say
so it's going to take like a preps who a lot of people pay attention to kind of step out there and be like, all right, this is our player of the year. Because a lot of people, if you guys pick a Rodney Hammond as a player of the year, it's going to be debate, but it's kind of like the HBCU argument. If you get a kid, one of those stars that jump first, there's gonna be a lot of debating going on, but then more people feel comfortable doing it.
On the Quran punting deal, I've seen games where he's caught a pass for a touchdown. He's returned a kick, and he's picked off, I think it was 2 balls.
I won't say that was the homecoming game.
I think it.
Because that's the one he pointed out to me. He was like,
I think
pay attention to this
the
kid.
Taylor game, he returned a punt.
Yeah, I seen that on.
And Northam has some talent. Northam has some talent over there.
They really do.
Not to skip past that, but yeah, I think I had Malik as a dark horse candidate because, like Reese was saying, I think he's about to get rolling. And like Taylor's going to get rolling around playoff time there, and then they don't have to go through 5-8 like Maury, Salem, and those.
I think the thing that will detract from Malik is what you brought up. They're not a losing team, but they got 2 losses.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, they got 2 losses before they get to the playoffs.
Before they get to the playoffs,
right? You know, because he's gonna do the numbers.
Right,
he is that type of back. He is in that system to do the same thing like he did last year.
Yeah,
except now you know you got 2 losses on your head. So,
but like you said before the playoffs, so now it's like now you have to go further than more because you got to go. Now you got to go further in the team that's in front of you.
Right, and you still have to produce. Can't just be the team. You know, and, you know, and I talked to him last Wednesday. You know, he was out at one of the middle school games. I talked to him. I said, you know, I need you to stay healthy, man. Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Ice up, Pilates, whatever you got to do. Just stay healthy.
He's huge, man.
Right, because that's a lot of wear and tear on your body coming from a freshman to your junior season, and you still got another season to go. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body.
And when I saw him for the first time last year in the playoffs, I was like, you know, you're a bowling ball.
Yeah.
You know, he runs like a bowling ball downhill. Or a runaway sooner. Except he doesn't flip over.
Yeah, and they can't bring that out.
No, you can't bring.
They ain't bringing that out. Yeah, they said they're pulling that.
Oh, the sooner schooner flipped again yesterday.
Yeah, they said they're pulling. They said they're pulling
it again yesterday.
Oh yeah, they lost to Kansas State.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they said.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that game.
Yeah, they said they're pulling it.
That was the game at ODU.
Like Big 12. I watched Oklahoma play a couple times this year. I don't think they can match up with SEC teams. Like. That defense is just
that definitely showed yesterday.
Yeah,
I don't think they match up with Oregon.
I haven't seen Oregon. I don't stay up past 9, so I can't. I don't catch them games.
Yeah, they played late. I think the game was like 10:30 last night.
You know, those late nights come home from ODU. You're winding down.
Man, I was Hampton like that. Hey, man, listen. Homecoming HBCU is different, Reese. You can catch you North State.
I have been trying. I've been trying. I was actually supposed to go to Elizabeth City State.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I know. And yeah, the week of that Norcom game on Saturday. And I'm like, well, you know, I gotta go to the Norcom game.
Yeah. Man, I was trying to leave like after the little press conference they did. Yeah. Man, the Deltas, they were out there stepping in. It was just so much going on. I ended up staying out there for a little bit. So
that's one of the things I'm looking to do more of next year. Is more traveling for college stuff. You know, I love ODU. And you know, I'll be a student there extremely soon. If things go, you know, according to plan.
Gotcha.
But you know, you look at you have 6 ODU games. I got these opportunities to go elsewhere.
Right.
I am
building your resume, building your name.
5% sure I'm doing Army Navy this year.
Okay.
That's a big
except for the fact that you know it coincides with high school playoffs.
Cold.
Yeah, tell you what.
And it's cold.
I skip high school. I skip into high school to do college games.
It's cold.
You know, I don't know if I probably won't.
Gotcha.
Won't. But I will be doing the Belk Bowl. I'm doing the Military Bowl in Baltimore. And I think I'm going to Boca Raton.
Okay.
For that bowl down there.
Gotcha. That's in what, Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
Gotcha.
Boca Raton. Mouth of the Rat. Mouth of the river down there.
Gotcha. So, Twan, what we at with these pick'ems, man? I think I was closing in on you, too.
Yeah, you are still behind by one, right? And we are closing out the season.
We got, what, 3 weeks left?
We got 3 weeks left, but we only got 2 shows left.
Okay,
so
I gotta catch you.
So that means you got this week, and then you got, I think, next week, and then we got the playoffs. So, you're behind by 1, so let's get into them for this week. Here we go. Denby versus Hampton.
I got Hampton on that one.
I got Hampton on that one. Okay. Booker T versus Wilson.
Booker T.
I'm sticking with you on Booker T. We got Warwick versus Gloucester, which is going to be an interesting game in the Peninsula, and I'm going with Gloucester.
Me too. I'm with Gloucester.
Okay.
Too. I can't keep picking everything you pick.
Oh, that's fine. You go. You go out
I
on
gotta
your
catch
own.
you.
You go out on your own.
Catch you.
Lakeland versus Western Branch.
Oh, I
Lakeland's
could
at home this
I
game.
could see Lakeland winning this, but I'm gonna go with Western Branch.
Yeah, I got Western Branch. Here we go. Big game of the week in the Eastern District. Maury versus Norcom. This is a Norcom home game. If I looked on my schedule,
It's gonna be packed too.
mm-hmm.
It's gonna be packed. Got Maury.
Yeah, I'm going with Maury on that.
You gonna do you doing this game, Reese?
I haven't decided what game I'm doing this year.
That's
This
gonna be-
week.
that game's gonna be
You know,
packed. It's gonna be
I
good.
gotta see. I gotta look at the schedule probably today and see if we have a Thursday game.
Yeah, I
if
might
we have
do
a
that.
Saturday game because ODU's at FIU this week. So
I ain't worrying about that. No, stay homecoming.
Mhm.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. What side?
You know what? I think I'll see you there probably.
You definitely will. You ain't gonna see me at the game.
Woodside, Woodside versus Bethel over in the Peninsula. Woodside coming off his first loss. I have Woodside in this game.
Me too. Got Woodside.
All right. Then we're going to switch over to the Southeastern District. Smith versus Grassfield. I got Smith.
Smith too. Yep.
Nasman River versus Hickory. Who you got?
Nansman River.
I'm sticking with Nasman River. Kings Fork versus Deep Creek.
I think Deep Creek gonna go ahead bounce back against Kings Ford. I got Deep Creek.
I got Deep Creek also. Your favorite team, Indian River versus Great Bridge.
I got River, man.
Yep, no doubt,
I
River.
got River.
In the Peninsula, we got Phoebus coming off their win against Woodside versus Heritage.
I got Phoebus.
I got Phoebus. Here's one that might throw us for a loop. Minchville versus Kickertan. I got Minchville.
Yeah, I got Mitchville.
Okay.
This the one. This one.
Oh, you mean the beach?
Yeah,
you
these two
run
right here.
The
Yeah, these
beach
two right
schedule.
here. Yeah,
We
these
got PA versus Lansdowne again. PA is 6-2,
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed winning season against Lansdowne.
Nice. I got Lansdowne upset special. Well, not really, because they got the same record. I
Right.
believe.
So
You ever seen College Game Day
yeah,
where Coach does Not So Fast, My Friend?
that's what I should have did.
No, I'm not so fast, my friend. No.
yeah, you got PA. I got Lansdowne.
I said Lansdowne. I
You
said
got
Lansdowne. I
Lansdowne?
said Lansdowne. Yeah, I said Lansdowne. Yeah.
Okay, you got Lansdowne.
Yeah, I got
okay,
Lansdowne.
I got
said
Lansdowne too.
Yeah.
Here you go. Cox versus Green Run.
Man, as much as I want to pick Green Run, I think I'm gonna go with Cox. I'm gonna go with Cox.
All right. So
You going with Green Run though?
again,
Get your boy over there.
the game is going to decide some playoff factors. I said Cox has a problem with speed.
Mm-hmm.
I think Green Run showed what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I am going with Green
I
Run.
know your boy over there. I know. You can't pick
That
your boy.
might be the game.
That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game.
I mean,
too.
it might.
All right. Bayside versus Salem.
Man, Bayside upset Salem. Would that be bigger than Kempsville beating Bayside?
No.
Heck no.
historically-
Nothing
No.
can be
historically, I
bigger
think
than that.
it's
No.
bigger.
Nah, I got
I think
Salem.
it's a big
Salem
story
ain't gonna
for the
lose.
news,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think it's
Nah,
big.
Salem gonna go in the playoffs undefeated. I don't
Salem.
think they gonna lose.
I got
Yeah.
Salem too.
Salem rolling.
Kellum versus Tallwood. Tallwood's at home. I'm going with Tallwood in this game.
Yeah, I had Callum, but I'm gonna go with Tallwood too. I don't know
Alright.
why I picked Callum. That must have been us.
Now, for the drum roll. FC versus Kempsville. Kempsville is at home.
Kempsville, first 2-game winning streak since 2010.
I definitely
Kempsville
agree.
gonna win again.
I want to give First Colonial some props though. They scored this week for the first time in about 6 weeks.
Who they play?
Shoot.
See, it don't count. They might have played Wilson or something.
It's the beach.
It was a beach team.
It's a beach. Stop it. Stop it.
I gotta be the Stephen A. I gotta be the hater.
Stop
I gotta
it.
be the hater. We can't be friends every show.
Hey, you right. You right. That's why I say what I say when you
I gotta
talk
be a
about
hater.
when you talk about your top 5. When you talk about player of the year. You're right. You got your points. I got mine.
Hey, you still gotta go to Norfolk, Twy. Oh no, man, you a
I'm
beach
there.
guy now,
Hold on.
Twy.
I'm there at least 3 times a week. I don't seem to have no
That
They
was,
problems.
They scored at Tallwood.
Okay.
Before last week, so 2
Gotcha.
weeks ago.
Yep.
All right, so I don't know if I said this earlier, but I definitely think Region 5 is the toughest region. You know, I think that's the toughest region.
I agree.
So you ready to get into my personal news? I guess I'll go ahead.
Hold on. Hold that horse, because we have to get our fantasy player on the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You picked Bethel's quarterback 2 weeks ago.
He ain't made me look
And they took a loss, right?
Yeah, he ain't made me look too good.
I had Keandre Lambert.
Yeah.
I know he had 2 TDs in that game, so didn't look too good on Jamal's pick. But Jamal gets to pick first this week.
I already picked Rodney, so I can't pick him again. Who playing who?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot this part. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm
ready.
Can you pick yours, please?
Yeah, Rodney Hampton. Yeah, see the game.
I wasted my
pick. That's right. You looked at the game, you was like, man, I shouldn't have picked Rodney so early. Right?
But when I picked him, he ran for like 200 yards.
He had a good game. He had a good game. But yeah, Rodney.
Can I get some help? Can I phone a friend for this one?
Better phone Reese.
Reese, help me out, Reese.
Or Chris.
Chris will pick somebody from more.
Hey, as long as it ain't somebody you already picked.
But no, I don't. That's not gonna be a stat game this week.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Come on, Reese, help me out.
So
Reese.
who are you taking already this year?
I've taken Kaylon Black, I believe. I've taken Flora from Deep Creek, right?
No, you took
Evans
from
Nasman
took
River.
Evans from Nasman River. He took Man Copeland.
Yep.
Right.
Rodney already took.
They took Keandre Lambert.
So every week there's a few players I sit down and I say, all right, I want to see how player X does.
Mm-hmm.
I just for research reference. Mm-hmm. Have you taken Ethan Vasco yet?
No, I haven't. They played Grassfield this week. You think? Have you seen Grassfield play?
I have not.
Me either. But they're 3-3.
Grassfield is 4-4. Grassfield's 4-4.
I don't think he's gonna put up too much numbers against him. But I'm gonna roll with you, Reese. I'm gonna roll with you. I got Ethan.
You got Vasco.
Yeah, I got Vasco.
Okay.
Right. He's one of those guys I've been keeping track of. Keep track of all the guys all year. But he's one of those guys who I've really been impressed with this year because he was a linebacker.
He's a sophomore, right?
Yeah, he came from North Carolina.
Somebody told me he's gonna be the top quarterback in the state by the time he's a senior.
I told you that.
By the time he's a senior?
That's what I heard.
And he's a sophomore now? Okay, I can.
I wouldn't be surprised if when it's all said and done, he's a ESPN 300 guy.
Think so?
Yeah.
Well, I heard some impressive. I haven't seen him play. I heard some impressive stuff about him.
I seen him at the first half of
the
Indian River game.
Yeah.
You talking about a hot day?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out there.
Yeah. Well, no. See, that was the day I was messing with my hair, and I had bought this stuff for my hair with mango butter.
So you gonna put that on that hot heat?
I did not realize how hot.
No oil goes on his head in the heat.
Be baking out there.
The worst part was I've been getting some dry skin lately in my beard. I don't know what's going on. The worst part was
you're in that drought, Reese. That drought since 2013. You been?
I put the mango butter in my hair because I had 2 games that day. I had ODU that night. And I was like, all right, I know I'm going to sweat a little bit at least because you sweat no matter what. I know I'm going to sweat a little bit. And I was doing sideline that day. I'm like, I'm going to put some on my beard too so it stays fresh. I'll tell you what, halftime I felt like a piece of bacon.
And it was hot at ODU too.
Yeah, it was.
That was the first week I was doing the tailgate stuff for ESPN Radio. And I was walking from Wood Park, 45th Street to the Miller's gas station, because right beside that's one of the parking lots.
Reese got a special parking spot. He didn't tell y'all that.
Yeah, no. It's real special. I think I'm to it every week.
Yeah, he got it. This guy parked in the say this real quick. This guy parked in the what you fucking like the employee parking spot or something? The state trooper. He started parking in the state trooper spot. He was like, "Hey, I hope my car's out there. You think this game's worth my car getting towed?
No way.
What? I would have left." Yeah. So, but definitely thank you for being on today.
Thank you.
Twan wanted me to share my personal news, a little bit of personal news. So, of course,
I'll have the same personal news this week, probably.
Yeah, I hope so. So, of course, you guys know I've been reporting since 2014. I started with Virginia Pilot back in 2014. Went with another company. Now we're doing I-64 Sports. So, I decided to go back to my first career, which was being a teacher. So that's something I decided to do. I'm going to go back to being a full-time teacher, educator. I have missed being around the kids. So I started out as a classroom teacher before I was a reporter over in Portsmouth. So something I want to go back to doing. Doesn't mean I won't report on sports at all, continue to do events or whatever. But I think what I want to do moving forward is to put a lot of my passion into teaching, which is something I've grown to love and kind of missed over the past couple of years. I enjoy working with the kids, but
we need those educators. Especially over there at that school.
Yeah, right.
My niece is over there, so we need all the educators over there.
Yeah, and I hold it down. And Reese may be Reese may be coming over there with us too. So hopefully we can get him on there too.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think education has always been a big part of my life, man. I'm just ready to go back into that. Ready to go back to education.
I think it really coincides with what you do with high school football. It's all about the kids. Right. At the end of the day, it's about the kids. It's not about us, getting popularity, getting viewers, wherever it may be. It's about the kids. It's about showcasing the stories of these kids. I think it's the same thing as teaching. You got to focus on the kids.
And I heard you say something, write something on social media. You was like, when you cover these kids for so long, you just grow to, care about them, and you just like a story was Jalen White. What's his name?
Actually,
when you hear something like that, you just
I wrote that. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, no, it was Thursday at Maury. It was senior night. It was senior night, and Keandre had just walked out. And I was thinking to myself, when you do what we do, and you see these kids, and I've only been in it for a year for high school, but elsewhere I've seen kids grow, through whatever the lowest level of racing is to what they're at now. You start to get invested in these kids a little bit,
right?
Not to the point where you're rooting for anyone, but
yeah,
it's like seeing a guy like CJ. He's going to use his talents to, whether or not he makes it to the NFL, further his life. His life will be better from playing football. Someone like Deshaun Peel, Karan Prunty. Whether or not they play in the NFL, they're going to go to college on football. They're going to go to college is something they love to do, and they're going to get to do it in college, and they're going to get the opportunity to go for a degree in college. I think if you don't finish your degree in college, unless you are like Tua Tagovailoa, you should stay 4 years.
Hey, but we all are one knee injury away from,
not even just that,
needing that degree.
When you get to college football, these are the best of the best from their towns, Division I at least, and really all of it is the best and best from all the towns. I think if you're good enough to play in college, and you have an NFL future, no matter if you do or not, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't stay in college all 4 years. I see, if you have an opportunity to go, like Jameis Winston, make a lot of money, or someone like Andrew Luck, he stayed all 4 years. Someone like
Andrew Luck, dad is a millionaire.
Yeah.
I think we had this show all day, but that might be another topic. We got
the topic coming for next week about college. So that's coming.
That's interesting that you touched on that, but that, it depends on the situation. So,
of course.
We can't stay on that all day. So, definitely appreciate you coming through, Reese. It was a great show. I know everyone will enjoy it when they hear it.
Yeah.
And we got, like Twan said, we got 2 more, and we out of here.
Yeah, we out. So, thank y'all for tuning in. 757 Field Goals. We out.
Yep.
Peace.